Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Labor's Local 663, Great Southern Bank, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Doak Propane, Shelter Insurance Agents in Aurora, Grant Baker, and in Lockwood, Sean Holman. As always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Certainly pleased to be joined now by Missouri Southern State University head baseball coach, Bryce Darnell. Coach Darnell, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you guys reaching out.
You bet, Coach. His 15th season there at Missouri State. I'm sorry, at Missouri Southern State, and I apologize for that. 2019 Conference Coach of the Year, 30-13 overall a year ago, 22-11 in the conference. Talk about what you got coming back and maybe some guys you've had to replace there going into the 2022 season.
Yeah, every year's a challenge to maneuver all those things that you mentioned. We got a good core group of offensive players coming back, and starts with our catcher, Tommy Stevenson, and our left fielder, Jordan Fitzpatrick, and Henry Kuziak, and Clay Milas, and Matt Miller, big first baseman, Matt Miller. And so we feel good about our offensive firepower for sure. And of course, when you look at our team from last year, the most glaring guy to replace is Zach Parrish, who was the Division II Pitcher of the Year. You just simply don't replace a guy like that. But also Will Bossinger just logged a ton of innings for us. Great 5-year, counting COVID, 5-year pitcher for us. So we got some guys that need to step into some roles, but that's why you recruit, and that's why you get new players, because those things are coming. And another guy that we look forward to that's been around, he's been our closer, is Logan Van Wy, and he's going to step into a starter's role, and he's embraced that, and he's done well with that up to this point. So look forward to watching him start his first game tomorrow as we kick off our season.
And coaches, I look at your roster, lots of kids from the area out of very good high school baseball programs. And you're talking about Willard, the success that Aurora had a few years back. You've got kid, I think Matt Miller's a former Hound Dog. Webb City, right there in their backyard. Tell us a little bit about that recruiting and being able to be in a good baseball area.
Yeah, no question about it. Southwest Missouri definitely produces really good high school baseball players. It's one thing maybe a little different as you not that our area doesn't have good basketball players or football players, but you can win at a high level with baseball players in Southwest Missouri, and nothing pleases us. Coach Tuck, our main recruiter, and myself, when local teams have players that contribute to our program. And you mentioned a lot of those programs, and we love to see those guys and see those programs do well and have a chance to get those players. And so, you mentioned Aurora, like you say, Matt Miller, and we've had other players from Aurora. You mentioned Webb City, no question about that. And then Jordan Fitzpatrick's a Springfield kid, and so we've had good luck with those players, and we need those teams to keep producing that type of player.
Again, visiting with Missouri Southern State University head baseball coach Bryce Darnell. And for the viewers, Coach, tell us a little bit about your background. It's your 15th year there at Missouri Southern. Tell us, where you kind of grew up, cut your teeth, and how you arrived there at for the Lions.
Well, like you said, it's my 15th year here, and it's amazing how quickly things go. You think about that each year as you start your first road trip and your first game, and you kind of feel like it's the first year, and instead of the 15th year, you get the nerves and you get the excitement, and that's what makes it great, the competition. But I coached high school baseball at Webb City for 10 years. I played collegiately here at Missouri Southern. Had a great experience as a player, and had really good players at Webb City. We had a lot of success. And, I was very fortunate. The timing was just, perfect probably for when Coach Turner retired from this job with success, and still the people that I knew from my experience at Missouri Southern, that I would have a chance to get this job. And I was lucky enough to do it, and feel like, we've done some good things here, and I'm really proud of my time here. But we keep staying hungry and keep progressing, and so we got a great staff, and that starts with Nick Tuck, who's a Lamar guy, and he was a player my last year or my first year as a coach. It was his last year as a player, and he does so much for our program. And so really take a lot of pride in being the coach here, and I feel very, very fortunate to be here.
Looking back just to the history there, you're only the third coach in the history of the university. And you look at, obviously Hall of Famer Warren Turner was there 31 years. What does that mean to you as well? Just have two coaches in the last 46 years. It's almost like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, no doubt. It speaks to the stability and the tradition and the success, and certainly the continuity, which is important for any successful organization, is to have continuity at the leadership role. But this is our 50th year of Missouri Southern baseball, and we're going to have a big celebration the first weekend in April. So yeah, only to have three coaches in 50 years, and it definitely helps with the connections, and definitely helps with knowing people and knowing different eras. And so very fortunate to have only three coaches, and Coach Ed Wilk and Coach Warren Turner are still around, and I see those guys, and so should have a good time at our 50th year celebration, and like I mentioned, take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, I ran into Coach Turner refereeing a football game.
Yep.
Had some shortages there, and he said, "I'll go do it." And nobody's going to give him any trouble. But as you approach here, game one tomorrow, you're going to try and sneak one in before the Snowmageddon gets here. You guys are getting ready to load a bus, head down to southwestern Oklahoma State, and then you've got Winona State coming in, weather permitting. Well, just kind of, give us an idea of what your expectations are going into the. You started it last year 10-0, so
yeah.
you've got that in your back pocket too.
Well, we have high expectations. We play in a very competitive, tough league, and to be at the top of our league, you're one of the best programs in the Midwest and in the country, and so just have high expectations and take pride in those expectations. We're playing a really good opponent. It's a little unusual that we're playing, opening up the season midweek. Usually it's on the weekend, but we're excited to do that. Southwestern Oklahoma is a team we've played 2 of the last 3 years, and they're a very good opponent. Going down to their place is obviously going to be a challenge, and so we look forward to playing. Our guys are ready, and it's great to be back playing again. You think about things go so quick. The practices you have in the fall, and you look up, and when January gets here and you start kicking off your as we call it, your spring practices, and here we go. This is why the kids come to school to play sports, is to play games, and that's exactly what we're getting to do.
Coach, real quickly here before you go, as you look at that MIAA, it's changed quite a bit. Since I've played in it, you've added the likes of I believe Newman, to the conference. Southwest Baptist has gone out to the GLVC, so conference has changed a little bit. Kind of handicap it a little bit. I know Northwest Missouri State's always been talented. Central Missouri State's been talented. Pittsburgh State right there next door to you. Kind of handicap that a little bit with what everybody's got coming back.
Well, you hit it. You name the names, and throw in UCO and throw in Emporia State, and you look at your schedule and you look at your conference schedule. You're like, man, how are we going to win games? It's kind of the same thing every year, and just kind of how you're playing at the time. We always say it's not who you're playing, it's when you're playing them. With injuries and timing, and especially the way how you feel about yourself as a baseball team. A lot of that stuff. As a former player, a lot of that stuff can pile up in a good way or pile up in a bad way. So it's our job as coaches to make sure we're moving the needle in a positive fashion. But I got a ton of respect for our league, got a ton of respect for the coaches in our league, and it's always a dogfight. And you mentioned those teams, and there's other teams. NSU, which had an outstanding season last year. Jake Hendricks does a great job down there. They should have a ton of guys back and have a chance to have a great year. So throw those guys in the mix and throw, even the guys, Washburn and all these other teams too. And I hate to name names because you leave teams out, but there's a very tough league and, very competitive league, but that's what makes it fun. And that's what keeps you going.
You bet. Well, again, Coach Darnell, thanks so much for being generous with your time. I know you guys are trying to get on a bus and get out of there, and you've got fires you're trying to put out, although you may want to let those fires burn with the weather that's coming in. But, yeah. Coach, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to getting to visit with you again.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you, and you're a good follow on Twitter, so I appreciate you, and thanks for reaching out.
You bet. Missouri Southern State University head baseball coach Bryce Darnell here at the Missouri Sports Network. Keep it right here. And you're listening to and watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage, presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks.